Welcome to our channel. Before we get started, please consider liking and subscribing so we can bring more stories like this to you.
In the heart of a city shrouded in shadows, Sarah Mitchell stood as a beacon of hope, an activist whose unwavering commitment to justice made her a formidable adversary against corruption. With a background in investigative journalism, she had spent years uncovering illicit dealings, exposing those in power who manipulated the system for their gain. Recently, Sarah had published a groundbreaking exposé that revealed damning evidence against Senator Harold Kingston, a charismatic leader cloaked in respectability but entangled in bribery and fraud. Her article sent shockwaves through the political landscape, sparking outrage among citizens and drawing the ire of Kingston's loyal enforcers. They were notorious for silencing dissent with brutal efficiency as Sarah continued her campaign for transparency. She knew the risks but remained undeterred. Her resolve was fueled by the stories of those who had suffered under Kingston's regime. However, her bravery would soon come at a steep price. One fateful evening, as she prepared for a public rally, the enforcers struck. Under the cover of darkness, they apprehended her, whisking her away to an undisclosed location where voices of dissent were muffled and hope faded as the night deepened. Sarah prepared for her rally, surrounded by supporters eager to hear her vision for a transparent government. Unbeknownst to her, the enforcers had been watching her every move, their presence lurking in the shadows, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. When they finally moved in, it was swift and brutal. A van screeched to a halt near the rally site, and masked figures poured out. Their faces obscured but their intentions clear. Without hesitation, they seized Sarah, dragging her away from the crowd as chaos erupted behind them. The air filled with screams and shouts of protest, but the enforcers were relentless, displaying the terrifying efficiency that had earned them a notorious reputation. Inside the van, Sarah fought with all her strength, but her resistance only fueled their aggression. They bound her wrists and secured her against the cold metal interior as darkness enveloped her. She realized just how far those in power would go to silence dissent. The regime's brutality unleashed a chilling reminder of what was at stake, not just for her but for all those daring to challenge the status quo. Meanwhile, Jason Statham's character, known for his unmatched skills in covert operations, sat in a dimly lit bar on the outskirts of the city, nursing a drink as he reflected on his past missions. A former operative with ties to various underground networks, he had long since sworn off the dangerous life but remained connected to those struggling against corruption. When he received a frantic call from a mutual friend about Sarah's abduction, concern ignited within him. Jason and Sarah shared a history. They had crossed paths during her earlier investigations, where she had sought his expertise in navigating perilous situations. Her passion and determination had left a lasting impression on him. Now, hearing about her plight, he felt an undeniable pull to act. With every passing moment that Sarah remained detained, Jason's resolve deepened. He meticulously planned her rescue, utilizing his extensive contacts and resources while gathering intelligence on the enforcers' operations. As images of Sarah's courageous spirit flashed through his mind, he vowed to confront the shadows that threatened her freedom, igniting a fire within him that he thought had long been extinguished. With a fierce determination ignited within him, Jason began strategizing Sarah's rescue. He gathered in a secluded backroom of the bar, surrounded by trusted allies from his past, experts in surveillance, combat, and intelligence. Each member of his team had once fought against the same oppressive forces that threatened Sarah, binding them together with a shared sense of purpose. Jason initiated the planning by analyzing every fragment of information available on the enforcers and their stronghold. He traced their operations through old contacts, piecing together a map of their movements and identifying vulnerabilities in their security protocols. The enforcers were known for their brutality but also for their predictability. Jason focused on exploiting that weakness. As the team deliberated, Jason emphasized the importance of timing and precision. They would execute a stealth operation under the cover of night, aiming to extract Sarah before she could be moved to a more secure location. Each detail was meticulously reviewed, from entry points to escape routes. With every passing moment, Jason felt the weight of urgency. It wasn't just about saving an activist. It was about standing up against a regime that thrived on fear. Under the cover of darkness, Jason and his team approached the enforcer's stronghold, A foreboding warehouse nestled at the end of a dimly lit alley. As they slipped past the guard posted at the entrance, Jason relied on his extensive training, moving like a shadow among the crates and stacked materials that surrounded them. His heart raced, but his mind remained focused. Utilizing night vision goggles, he navigated through the labyrinthine corridors, staying one step ahead of the enforcers. Patrols, each sound amplified in the silence. The crackle of radio communication from guards, the distant clang of machinery, heightened their tension. Jason signaled for his team to stop as they reached a secured door that led deeper into the facility. With a quick flick of his wrist, he produced a lock-picking tool and deftly manipulated the mechanism. The door unlocked with a soft click, and they slipped inside. A dimly lit room unfurled before them, filled with hastily abandoned equipment and ominous silence. Jason's instincts kicked into overdrive. He peered around corners meticulously, ready to grapple with anyone who obstructed their path to Sarah, determined to ensure her freedom despite the looming danger. As Jason and his team edged deeper into the facility, the atmosphere shifted from tense silence to a palpable sense of danger. Suddenly, the unmistakable sound of footsteps echoed down the corridor. Jason quickly signaled for silence, and as they pressed against the wall, a group of enforcers rounded the corner, their weapons drawn and eyes scanning for intruders. In an instant, Jason sprang into action. He launched himself at the first enforcer, delivering a swift kick that sent him crashing into a stack of crates. The others reacted, but Jason, fueled by adrenaline and determination, expertly outmaneuvered them, dodging bullets while using every available surface to his advantage. He expertly used his surroundings, a pipe to swing himself around and deliver devastating punches, and strategic positioning to take down another guard with a precise elbow strike. The confined space became a chaotic battleground as Jason's team engaged with the enforcers. Jason grabbed a fallen weapon and fired warning shots to create an opening for his team to advance. Every movement was calculated and fierce. He fought not just for Sarah's freedom but against a regime that thrived on fear, showcasing his remarkable combat skills and unwavering resolve. After a fierce battle, Jason and his team finally reached the room where Sarah was held captive. The dim light flickered overhead, illuminating her disheveled form, bound to a chair with fear evident in her eyes. As he kicked down the door, Jason's heart raced, not just from the adrenaline of the fight but from the urgency of saving her. "Sarah!" he called out, rushing to her side as she looked up, disbelief and hope flooding her expression. The bond they shared instantly reignited. He swiftly cut through her restraints with a blade from his pocket. Tears welled in Sarah's eyes as she stood unsteadily, taking in the sight of her rescuer. "Jason, I knew you'd come," she whispered, her voice trembling with gratitude and relief. They embraced tightly, a moment that felt suspended in time amid the chaos surrounding them. "Let's get out of here," he urged, determination fueling his every word. Together, they navigated through the remnants of their harrowing escape plan, their hearts pounding not just for survival but for the freedom they were reclaiming. Not only for Sarah but for everyone oppressed by fear and tyranny. With Sarah now free, Jason led her through the maze of the stronghold, every footfall echoing in their ears as they navigated the dimly lit corridors. The tension was palpable. They could hear the distant shouts of enforcers discovering their escape. Jason moved swiftly, his instincts sharp as he scanned for potential threats around every corner. Suddenly, a group of guards appeared ahead, their flashlights cutting through the darkness like piercing arrows. Without hesitation, Jason pulled Sarah into an alcove, holding his breath as they watched the enforcers pass just inches away. Once the danger subsided, they darted down another corridor and stumbled upon a set of stairs leading upward. As they ascended, Jason's mind raced with strategies for their exit. They burst onto the rooftop, where the night sky lay before them, but an alarm blared suddenly, an all-too-familiar sound that signaled their impending capture. With no time to waste, Jason spotted a ladder leading to an adjacent building and urged Sarah to climb quickly. They leaped across rooftops, hearts pounding in unison as shots rang out below. Each second felt like an eternity as they evaded capture through sheer determination and adrenaline, fighting against the oppressive forces that sought to reclaim them. As they finally reached a safe house, Sarah and Jason took a moment to collect themselves. Breathing heavily from their narrow escape, it was then that Sarah revealed she had hidden critical evidence related to Senator Kingston's corruption, evidence she had gathered before her capture. Determined to expose the truth, Jason reviewed the documents she had stashed in her bag, a trove of financial records, emails, and photographs linking Kingston to bribery and coercion of local officials. Each piece of information painted a clearer picture of the extensive web of corruption that plagued the city. Realizing the potential impact of their discovery, they devised a plan to disseminate the information. Working through the night, they contacted trusted journalists and activists who had previously collaborated with Sarah. The urgency of their mission heightened as they knew every minute counted before Kingston's enforcers could track them down. By morning, the evidence was sent out to various news outlets and influential whistleblower platforms. As reports began to surface, public outrage erupted once more, shaking the very foundations of Kingston's political empire. Sarah and Jason knew they had sparked a movement, igniting hope for change in a city desperate for justice. The fallout from Sarah and Jason's actions resonated throughout the city as news of the corruption scandal spread like wildfire. Citizens who had once felt powerless began to rally together, inspired by the bravery of Sarah, who had risked everything to expose the truth. Community meetings flourished, filled with passionate discussions about holding corrupt officials accountable and restoring integrity to their government. As protests erupted in the streets, Sarah became a symbol of hope and resilience, her story galvanizing those who had long suffered under oppression. However, the duo understood that this was just the beginning of a larger struggle. The powerful enforcers loyal to Kingston were not about to relinquish their grip on the city without a fight. With threats looming on the horizon, Jason and Sarah knew they needed to stay vigilant. They began strategizing ways to protect themselves and their supporters, forming alliances with other activists and local organizations. Together, they prepared for future challenges that would undoubtedly arise in their quest for justice. A journey that would demand courage and tenacity as they sought to dismantle the entrenched corruption once and for all.